Thank you for picking up the sticks. This is episode 103?
I think so.
Yeah. All right, good. Sticks Gaming Podcast. I'm Mike Kernet. To my somewhere is Mike State Carnia.
What's going on?
And to my other place is Art Smooches Rosian.
Smooches, huh?
Yeah. I don't know if I got
no
you.
steak.
I don't
You
know if
want the
I
steak?
got you.
Yeah, thank you. I'll take it. No.
I could be kissing nothing by the time this all renders and God knows where we're at. So, not a lot going on. Not a lot's changed. We all hunted for news and things, and we're just playing stuff. So let's talk about the stuff we're playing. But more importantly, Steak and I believe Art, right?
Yeah.
Both are picked up the Final Fantasy VII Remake. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. Apparently that's the only thing Steak's playing. So we're going to skip him for what you're playing for right now and go right to Art with what you're playing.
Let's see. Playing some more MLB The Show. So following that game online and looking through Reddit and whatever other forums, I see there's a lot of people complaining about things in the game, particularly fielding. And I've been getting hit with more of that lately. Outfielders will run to the spot where the ball is supposed to be, and they'll just keep going. They don't lock on to the spot at all. I had my right fielder just run through a fly ball yesterday.
Oh my god!
It was great when I got 2 triples in a row.
Are infuriating enough as it is, let alone when you need to, have your players stop.
Right.
Is the only thing that's not working.
But the developers of that game are pretty on top of that game and constantly releasing updates. So I'm sure at some point they'll fix it. Yeah. It doesn't happen all the time. And fortunately, I don't play that game online, so I just get pissed off that it happened against the computer, and I'm not throwing stuff because it happened against another person. See, outside of that, there's Final Fantasy. Played some more Warzone. They put some more guns in there.
Yes, it did.
Increased the price of care packages or whatever that weapon loadout drops. There we go.
Yeah.
Outside of that, it's still the same thing for as far as I could tell. I didn't play a lot of it. I only played a couple of rounds.
Yeah, it's like you said. They added more weapons and more the blueprint weapons too, so you have more specialty weapons as you go.
Yeah.
And
yeah, you said, those almost seem to be in abundance now. Especially purple weapons, especially those are popping up everywhere. Even the orange weapons, the legendary or whatever the hell they call them, seeing those more too.
Yeah.
Which is good because in a game where you can't find, a battle royale game where you can't customize your weapons and find sights to put on them, it's good to be able to find weapons that have, a red dot on it, which is a huge help as opposed to using the iron sights.
The other thing that changed is I'm also getting my butt kicked. That whole weekend, I finished in the hundreds a lot. It wasn't just I said last time we were playing, talking, I'm finishing the top 10, I'm finishing third and fourth, and I'm not even cracking double digits right now. I don't know if I just had a bad weekend or what.
They must have turned off old guy mode.
God knows I need that.
Yeah, me too. I was saying the couple of rounds I played did not go well.
I had one where I actually got my loadout, my loadout crate, so I got my full loadout. I was in a pretty good spot. There's only one door that went into the second floor of this apartment building type of place. I put a claymore right in front of that door. I could hear that guy coming. My gun's pointed right at the guy. Mm-hmm. Claymore goes off. His armor goes away, and yet he still somehow killed me before I killed him. And I had full armor and everything.
Sounds about right.
How in the world? I got my crosshairs right on his chest. That should be enough to A, blow him up, and B, shoot him a bunch, and that should be enough. But this is my first time I've had that in that game, though. It wasn't in Blackout where I think that happened all the time.
Right.
I'm I'm doing an entire clip into this guy, and he didn't die. But
yeah, it's like I said, it has been going well for me. But I'm also with first-person shooter games, I've kind of just hit fuck it mode on everything. Because I had a week where I was playing Rainbow Six, and I was just getting irate on a nightly basis, and I'm I need to stop caring so much and just have fun.
Yeah, I can say that's not fun.
And sometimes that involves jumping out of a second floor window and trying to shoot someone.
Mm-hmm.
When the smart thing to do would be stay there and just let them pass. That's not fun.
No. Jumping out of the window sounds a lot more fun.
Other game I played was another it's kind of a battle royale game. It's called Hunt Showdown.
Oh yeah, I saw you got pop trophies on that.
Yeah, it's basically it's a PvPvE game.
Mm-hmm.
So the objective is you can have up to 3-man squads. You can play solo or play with 2 people. If you play with less than 3 people, there's an option to choose whether or not you get placed into lobbies that have full teams of 3.
Okay,
So if you say I don't want to do that, you'll just get put in a lobby with other 1 and 2 combinations.
that's interesting. That's
Um,
smart, actually. I think.
yeah, and it's I say there's only 12 players per match, so it's not a huge map. Like you can literally go by foot through the whole thing in one match. But basically, the gist of it is you spawn into the world and there's locations in the map that are like populated locations, and you go in there and you find clues. And you find the first clue, it points you to where the second clue is, and you follow the chain. There's 3 clues, and every match has either 1 or 2 like boss enemies. And the goal is to find the boss enemy, kill the boss enemy, um, do what's called banishing them, which basically I don't know, sucks their body out of the map or whatever.
Okay.
And they leave behind 2 tokens, and then you have to get the tokens and get to an extraction point.
Okay.
And in between that, there's like common enemy zombies. There's some special zombies. It's set in like the 1800s Louisiana Bayou. So all the weapons are super old. A bunch of single shot rifles, and there's almost nothing automatic I've seen, which is definitely a change. And it's like probably about a 50% chance that you'll actually run into another like team or person in the game.
Hmm.
So it's weird. Sometimes you go through and you're just playing against the computer enemies, and you'll go in and get what you need to get and get out, and like it gives you a notification when if somebody's like defeated the boss or one of the bosses, if they've banished them, um, if they picked up the token. So you get like these pop-ups on your screen that say someone's done this. And at that point, you can choose like, okay, but when it does that, it shows you like specifically the area in the map where they are.
Yeah.
At that point, you can choose like, okay, I'm gonna go after them and try to catch them on the way out. Or if you've gone around and collected a bunch of stuff and gotten a bunch of other kills, or maybe you're weakened, you can just extract out of the map and take your the points you get for your kills and your XP and all that. And you have like
So,
5 character slots, and it's like a permadeath game. So if your character dies, it's
mm,
gone. Everything you built on that character is gone. Like the weapons you had, any perks that you put on them, it all goes with that character. So there's when stuff starts getting towards the end game, there is a choice to make. Like, can I realistically take on these people, or do I just want to get the fuck out of here and
Mm-hmm.
live to fight another day? It's interesting. I've only seen one map on there so far, which leads me to believe there's only one map at least on the console version. I don't know if the PC version is different. Um, so I mean, it gets kind of repetitive. I'm usually like, if I jump in and play, I'm into it and interested for like 3 or 4 matches, and after that, my interest wanes real quick.
I was gonna say, like, how? So, is there one definitive winner in this, or is it just like you survive with either a lot of stuff or a little stuff, or you die?
Yeah, pretty much. I like
Okay.
there's no scoreboard at the end that says like
Okay.
this team won. It's you're playing for your own bragging rights, I guess. Your own peace of mind that, hey, I got my got in there, got some stuff, got my character out, and that's fine. Um, I will say, like, the gunplay is, for what it is, it's pretty decent. It's since they are all older weapons, like no one's blasting anyone with a machine gun from 100 yards away. But like, if someone has a shotgun and they get close to you and they blast you with it, you're gonna be hurting.
Hmm.
If you have a rifle and you shoot someone, it'll take maybe 2 or 3 shots in the chest to put them down. But if you hit them in the head, they're going down. So I mean, I like that aspect of it. It's kind of not realism, but it's better than the some of the Call of Duty bullet sponge type stuff that we get sometimes.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, it's interesting. I want to say it was either $30 or $40. Um, I'm not sure. I'd recommend to people go out and drop $40 on the game right away. I mean, there's people streaming it on Twitch. Jump on there and check it out and see what the game's like before you go into it. I only got it because Vegas and Andy got it. And
Sounds about right.
but even then, there's been nights where they're playing. I'm like, I'm just not feeling this game tonight. I'm gonna sit here and play baseball. And I've been like, whether it's baseball or Final Fantasy, I've been doing more of that because, like I said, I was having nights where I was just getting like irrationally angry at the online shooting games. I'm like, I need a break. I need something that can go at my own pace, and I'm not relying on other people to do things that I think they should be doing. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I've played. Actually, that is all I've played.
All right, so I've been creeping around my backlog.
Yikes.
Yeah. So I'll start. I mean, there's a couple games I played. Like, so at my PlayStation, I have like a backlog folder, I have a finished folder, and I have all those things so I can keep everything all organized. So I'm officially down below 30 games in my backlog folder, which is about half what it was probably about like end of last year. To be honest,
that's pretty good.
Some of the games I moved out because I'm just like, I will never play this game. I got it for free on PlayStation Plus.
Okay.
I downloaded it, whatever it was, and I was never going to play this game. So I just, whatever.
It's about time you lived in the real world.
I had hopes and dreams, but it's 2020, and
and then the end of the world hit.
Yeah, so
it's like a waste my time on all these games.
So, I've been going through slices. I've been going through some stuff, and if I play for like an hour or two, and it's been like 4 years since I got it and haven't played it yet, and I'm not liking it, so I'm just throwing it out. So like a game called Ether One was it's a walking sim, but it's kind of ugly. The story isn't very interesting, so I was just like done with this. That was a PlayStation Plus game. I played through the first episode of Guardians of the Galaxy, the Telltale series.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And I could not possibly care less about what was going on. It just felt like the straight to DVD version of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. It wasn't like they were trying to do their own interpretation of these characters like they did with Batman, which I thought was very interesting and different. They literally just were ripping their characters and how they talked and everything right from the movies and did it in a significantly less interesting way.
That's disappointing. I bought that a long time ago too. I still haven't gotten around to it.
And what really ended up killing it for me was I finished the first episode, and then there's no servers anymore for that game in terms of telling you, hey, you're in the top, you're 12% of people make this choice and 8% of people.
Right.
So
that's always the fun part. Yeah.
Exactly. So once they kind of kicked that out, I was just like, I'm not really caring. I don't know if this is. This is just not gonna work out for me.
Yeah.
After we finished last time, I did end up buying the EA Access.
Mm-hmm.
I figured it's $30. I traded Madden for $30, so I traded Madden in for a year's worth of EA Access, and I downloaded Madden, played that for a while. It's still Madden. The two games I want to talk about most. Transistor. It was from Supergiant Games, same guys that did Bastion. It was Bastion, Transistor, and Pyre came out afterwards. So this game I think came out in 2013, 2014, somewhere in that time frame. This game is really good. Really enjoyed it. It has the same perspective that Bastion did. It kind of 2/3 of the way up, and you kind of just moving around the areas and fighting enemies. But it has a very neo-futuristic vibe to it, very computer hackery, and all your attacks look like functions. Like if you ever done any kind of programming, it looks like void and it has two little colons on there. But I know. But they all work though, so it's they're just there, and you're really
the point of the game is not to find the missing semicolon.
No.
Oh God.
Or we put a comma in instead of a semicolon, or
no. It's
talk about rage quitting.
If anything, it's the opposite. Whereas it's the part in computer programming, things got to be kind of perfect as you go along.
Mm-hmm.
But with this one, you get a bunch of different abilities you can attach to your main weapon, which is kind of like a big sword, looks like a computer chip almost, like a big fat computer chip.
Yeah.
And I think you end up getting a dozen or so attacks. Each one and you got 4 slots. In those 4 slots, you can put one of those programs in, and then you can take one of the other dozen programs and put it in as a subcategory. It gives it a perk wherever's underneath that weapon, and you can just flip flop them. So your combinations of what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ton of things you can do, and you really change the way by how you play or just the situation. You can't change them on the fly. There's certain you need to go to certain key points where you can go in and basically rearrange all your icons and make it all work out for you. But every time I went there, I was just trying something new. And there's even an area where you can do a practice area where you can just throw stuff together and see how it interacts with you. So like you're constantly changing, you're constantly finding new ones, and what you're finding, this was kind of like very Matrix-esque, where like you come across a dead body, and that dead body basically like their program goes into your sword, and whatever ability that is, like how they were like in their real life, manifests in an attack on your weapon. So if this one guy was like constantly like shouting, like, they had one guy who was super annoying, constantly shouting out at the mouth. He was like kind of like a machine gun, and it's like just things like that. It's just, there's a lot of backstory and lore building and things like that. But just the fighting is so cool. So you have all those attacks, and what you end up doing is you go into this is like where like the programming thing kind of lines up. So you basically kind of like stop time, and then you can maneuver around you can still maneuver on the screen and plan your attacks. So you would like move around behind the character, hit them like 3 or 4 times, and hit them with a third different type of an attack, which is now a combo. So that like last attack is even more amplified. So time kind of stops, and like the program starts where you go behind the guy, you do your hits, and you go from there. It's a relatively short game. It's a little over 5 hours, I think it took. It didn't give me a ton of challenge, but the whole idea is like you're supposed to play it multiple times. So like when you finish the game, the credits roll and you're all done, it asks you if you want to start the recursion program, which anyone did any kind of computer programming means like you go back from the beginning and then start again. But you go back with all that your weapons and your stats, and you start all that with everything, kind of like New Game Plus. But all the bad guys are also ramped up, so it kind of keeps the challenge going. It's really good. It has the same kind of vibe as Bastion, where you kind of like a narrator talking you through the whole thing. But the narrator is your sword, so the sword's kind of talking to you as you go along, because one of the souls are in the sword talking to you. Very, very cool. Like I said, you can find that game on the cheap quite a bit. I think you even have like a pack where you get Bastion and that game together. Those are both phenomenal games. Definitely go check those out. And last but not least, I don't know if it's off the wall or whatever. I think I own this game on every platform I have via some way, shape, or form, because it was either free or I got it in a bundle or whatever. Excuse me. The Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishments. That game is really fun. I am a sucker for detective stories and detective like work in video games. I always have been. And the way this one is very different, and they don't have like one big story. There are 6 individual cases. They don't bleed over to each other. You do 6 individual cases, and it's an adventure game. So you're going around finding clues. You're talking to people, doing interviews, trying to connect the dots on these murders. But what's different about this game is you can get it wrong. If you can miss evidence, you can misinterpret evidence, because one of the things you're trying to do is you go into like their deduction mode, and you're connecting pieces of evidence together in the deduction mode. Once you do that, it'll say like, let's say like this piece of paper and this address, and you found that address on this piece of paper, so now they're connected. Now you can say like, okay, well that's just coincidence. Maybe that date has something to do with the case, or like, hey, this is an important piece of the case, and basically it branches off from there. But each case has like 5 or 6 of those things, and if you branch a certain amount of ways based on what you think, like you can go to the completely wrong direction and completely arrest the wrong person, and the game doesn't stop you. Like you can continue with the game with that.
That's
so
nice.
I think it's very interesting and kind of unique. And not only like, so you finish the case, you pick a guy, and then once you do that, you get to basically kind of decide what you want to do with that person. Like there's some cases where like I had someone in a fit of rage killed somebody who was attacking a woman. That's what ended up happening. I was just like, well, I think you did the right thing. I'm not going to say anything, but you can't be here anymore. Or I can turn him over to the police. Like I can have either one of those options. So like there's just a lot of stringing paths and a lot of things that you can do, and like I found myself, it'll tell you once you have found all the clues. So like I'm like searching, diving, digging, and trying to find every single thing. Now I found all the clues. I'm like rereading documents, not realistic. Like they have like a dialogue text,
Transcript.
so you can like, go back and look transcript. Thank you, and you can go back and look at the dialogue. So I'm like poring over these documents to make sure I'm right and know what I'm doing. I got 5 of the 6 ones right on the first try. If you get it wrong, you can go back and you can do it again. But I got the one I got wrong twice. So I got it way wrong. Yeah, it was like you're trying to find an accomplice, and the first one's like this guy was the accomplice. Okay, it wasn't him. Then it's got to be nobody. Nope. Okay, well I guess it's the last option I have. I guess it's the last person. So I had to like rework the evidence to make it right for that one person. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I said I think it was ported to like this generation's from the 360 days and PS3 days. It's on everything, but it's very different, and I appreciated it not like completely like guiding me through these cases. Like, it let me fail and let me miss things and let me actually had to like think about like the series of events and timelines and all that kind of stuff. I really, really dug it. I already have the second one queued up, but so I made a kind of an impulse purchase a little bit. The GameStop had their Pro Day, and they had Red Dead Redemption for $20.
Okay.
Red Dead Redemption 2, and I had like a $15 like reward credit, and then a $5 like that monthly credit they give you.
You're right.
So it was
you're
free.
trying to burn before they go out of business.
Exactly. So I got it for the price of shipping, and I don't know, I saw it on there. I was like, you know what? I really like Death Stranding, and I was worried about Death Stranding, all the minutia and all like the maintenance and all that stuff you had to do before you went around. And this is what I thought I wouldn't like about this, but for the price of $3, I'll try one of the games a lot of people think are like the best. It was one of the best games of the generation. So
Sure.
I'll be reporting back on that next time. But yeah, that's my eclectic mix of quarantine gaming I've been doing. So that's all I got. Steak, what's coming out next couple weeks?
All right. Here we go. On April 24th, Hunting Ground for PC and PS4. Hopefully that'll run smoother than Friday the 13th did.
No.
Pass.
Also on April 24th, Trials of Mana for PC, Switch, and PS4. Looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
April 28th, Gears Tactics for PC. Also on April 28th, Moving Out, PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One.
That looked fun. That looked like overcooked with moving furniture instead of like cooking stuff. That looked like some dumb fun.
Mm-hmm.
How to ruin a friendship.
Yeah.
No, have you seen that game Fall Guys yet? It's on Devolver
I think so.
Devolver Digital's like 2019.
Is that the
E3
one
event.
that's like what was that stupid game show?
Wipeout?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's a battle royale. But you remember when we played Game Beasts, like that weird, like goofy, like jelly physics?
Yeah.
It's that, but there's 100. It's a battle royale, so it's you and 99 other goofy,
Oh my
blobs.
god.
But you're going through things like Wipeout and like MXC and just like all this madness that you're trying to go through. And I've been following it on Twitter for like since I saw it like last year. I've been dying to play it, and it's like that. That's in that same kind of vein where it's just like this is going to be some stupid fun and going to be. It looks like something. I'm definitely looking forward to that one. But Moving Out, right?
Yes.
Or Moving In. Moving Out looks super fun too.
Yep.
Yeah, Moving Out looks super fun too.
Also on April 28th, Sekiro Wars for PS4. April 30th, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 campaign for PC and Xbox One. And also on April 30th, super pumped for this one, Streets of Rage 4 for PC,
cool.
Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and it is going to be day one on Game Pass.
That means I'll play it.
Yeah, that looks awesome. And then they added 2 games recently to Xbox Game Pass, Yakuza Kiwami. So if you've gone through 0 already, now Kiwami is the remake of the original Yakuza, and The Long Dark.
Extra.
There's no news.
There's no news. There's nothing going on.
There's no news.
No news.
I would say the one thing, it's not news, but just it's interesting watching this like unfold online and like in places like just the shortage of access to gaming stuff. Like I sent Steak a text message the other day. Like there's a shortage on Switches. They're selling like above retail on eBay. Like for like launch models are selling above retail. Final Fantasy VII Remake, physical copy of that can't be found anywhere.
That's crazy.
I just think it's really interesting.
I should have bought it. I had multiple chances of buying one.
I think I saw an alert today that GameStop had them back in stock, but
yeah, I think GameStop got them back in. Yep.
But yeah, I just think it's interesting how like now that people can't go anywhere, this stuff's all in high demand, and God damn it, guys, we're sitting on a pile of gold.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Well, my second Switch is now up on eBay. So I was waiting for a trading deal at GameStop to trade it in to towards PS5 or Series X, but I saw what was going on, and then when Art texted me, I was like, all right, I got to pull the trigger. I got to do this. So I have 3 days left on my right as of this recording on my thing. It's already at $360.
All right, let me pump that up.
But yeah, it's crazy. Like I was telling, like the minute, probably within like 5 minutes of putting it up, I started the bid at like 200. I got a bid within the first 5 minutes, and then it went up to like over $300 in a matter of an hour.
Wow,
it's insane.
Yeah,
and I think part of it too is I'm one of the few actually that are giving you the dock as well.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are doing just the Switch and the Joy-Con.
There's some people even doing like just the tablet portion, like
Right.
nothing else. Because I mean I get it. They want to keep their Joy-Cons because if you have more, you can have more people play. But
I just had to do open heart surgery on one of my Joy-Cons. Like I was literally doing that before we got on this call today. The joystick was like getting all funky, so I bought like the $7 one on $7 joystick replacement.
Yeah.
And, so I was like,
how'd the procedure go? Did it live?
Well, yeah.
Did it recovery?
Yeah, some of the other buttons also feel sticky. I think it got rolled on in the middle of the night.
I was gonna say, you have kids playing with that thing. I'm blaming the kids. I'm not even blaming a Nintendo like defect on that, even though there is issues with stick drift on the Joy-Cons.
Or the dog.
I'm blaming the kids. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there.
Yeah, the stick would literally it wouldn't spring back. So that's not good. And it would just, even when you would move it, like if you move it to the left, it would stay left. Even if you went down, it would just stay left. So it's not. It did not work. But I said it connected. I did all the calibration stuff on it, and some of the buttons still can feel a little funky. But just like those are the arrow buttons on the left side, which aren't used as much.
Right.
But shit, I mean, you go from, do you want to spend $70 or $7?
Right.
Oh yeah.
I'll take my chances with the $7, and if it doesn't work, then I wasted $7 trying to fix it.
Reopen it, maybe try cleaning those other buttons, and it might be fine.
100%. And
get a Q-tip, some rubbing alcohol, and
exactly.
Yeah, it came with all the tools too. So I literally didn't have to do it. Like I opened the box, had everything I needed right in front of me. So I just
that's awesome.
did it all right there, and it's as far as I can tell, everything is working fine. But if my house sets on fire tonight, y'all know why.
See, now you're to the point where you need to start doing like the dad thing, where like you get your own controllers and you keep them on a shelf somewhere, and the kids can play with the busted shit. And when it's time for you to play, you take those Joy-Cons off, you throw them at them, you get your like shiny clean ones, snap them into place.
There you go.
That was when I was younger. It was PlayStation or PlayStation 2 times, and my dad had his own memory card because like one of my siblings deleted his triple play save off it.
Well, they do know that they're not playing with this controller. This one's mine. Only mine.
I've retired that one because I was getting some stick drift on it.
Mine's getting close. I can kind of feel some funkiness about it too.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I'm so close to the end here, so I'm just gonna.
That one's it's sitting on a shelf. It's a trophy.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the news.
Yeah, it's the news.
So I mean, the only real thing that's going on right now in the world of gaming, as far as we can tell, is Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's finally come out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep my hate to myself, and this is a time of celebration. So, you guys both played it.
Yeah.
First of all, I want to ask Art first. Art, how much have you played?
I've only played a couple hours, so maybe 4 or 5 hours so far. I know I'm way behind Steak as far as where he is in the game. Just because every time I turn my PlayStation and I see Steak on there playing Final Fantasy VII Remake, I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, he hasn't turned it off since yesterday. Earlier, when you said your internet was out, I was pulling out my phone to check the PlayStation app. I'm like, he's playing the fucking game, isn't he?
Oh man, it's great. No, I am 26 hours in.
Damn.
You gotta be getting close to the end, unless you're really kind of just crawling into the crannies.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how many chapters are in the game. I haven't looked that up, but I just pretty much got to chapter 14. So I think there's.
I think I just got to chapter 4 or 5. I think there's 19 chapters in the game.
19. Okay, that sounds right. I think I remember hearing someone say 18 or 19, but I haven't looked it up. So I'm on chapter 14. I'm taking my time. I'm not like. I don't know. I'm taking my time, but I'm not like there's so much to do in it. so I'm doing it.
So what is the like? I mean, what is the? I'm just side quest in this one now, and I mean, there's one in the original as well, but like what is like the outside of like the way it plays and things like that? Like what strikes you as like noticeably different about this version of the game?
Like right off the bat, they start fucking with the story.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so
Oh yeah.
so there's the they put the demo out a while ago, and it's you go into the
Mhm.
first reactor and blow it up and fight the boss battle in there, and so in the original Final Fantasy, this is like first hour stuff, so if it's spoilers, I'm sorry for anyone, but
20-something-year-old game. But fine.
I know I'm talking about the new
Well,
one,
I was gonna say
Ah,
there's a lot of new stuff that is quite crazy.
but it's like so you go
I
in
keep it myself.
in the original one, you go into the first reactor, you blow it up, you leave, you go back to Sector 7 slums, and that's it. This one, you go into the first reactor, you blow it up, you have the boss battle. Then Shinra detonates the rest of the reactor to make it look worse than it was, which doesn't happen until the second reactor mission in the original. But then after that, you get up to the surface of Midgar, and you see like the total destruction that's been caused by all this, which you never see in the original one.
Okay.
The original one, and that's like it wasn't until recently that I heard people talking about the original Final Fantasy. It never clicked to me like, oh yeah, you're a bunch of fucking terrorists.
Right. Yep.
And like this one, like right away they put you up to the surface and you see the carnage and the damage and people are dying and injured and like everything's just destroyed, and it's like, okay, that's some context they never gave you in the original one. But then after that, like you're walking through the streets, making your way back to Sector 7, and like almost immediately Cloud starts seeing the images of Sephiroth and stuff, which doesn't start happening until I want to say you don't see Sephiroth right away, but like the things with his head where like the screen gets all red and you hear the piercing sound, that doesn't happen until the second reactor, I think, in the original. So right away they start changing stuff up in the story, at least timeline wise. But also like from what I've seen, they flesh out the at least early on where I am, Jesse and Biggs and Wedge, they flesh them out a whole hell of a lot more. They're not just cannon fodder like they were in the first one. Like I just spent an hour earlier today going on like a whole mission with the three of them to go steal explosives.
Yep.
And it was just Cloud and the three of them, and like there's no Barrett, there's no Tifa, there's no Ares, nothing. So I'm waiting for that point to come where the three of them bite it. Because I you can tell they're trying to make it more of an impactful thing. If it happens, I don't know. I haven't gotten there yet. They're changing the story, so maybe they don't die. But like the mission I was just in, like there's other cells of Avalanche apparently. I thought Avalanche was like a 5-person operation based on the first game.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think they ever mentioned it in the original about.
I don't know
any
if they
type of
mentioned
thing.
Avalanche past the first like hour of the original. Like I can't remember them talking too much about it beyond the first reactor piece.
Yeah.
Pretty much, right? They stopped calling. Yeah, they never really called themselves Avalanche or anything. They kind of just stopped talking about it. But throughout this, like quite a bit deep in, you're still hearing the name Avalanche, which is pretty cool.
But yeah, well, I mean, outside of the fact that the graphics and everything, like you get into Sector 7 and there's like a whole bunch of side missions you do just in there. There's a bunch of characters you interact with who were never in the original. So like when they were before the game came out, they were talking about like, yeah, it's more fleshed out. There's more to do. I see that now. All those side missions I did, I'm sure they're not mandatory. They're not needed, all of them, but I did them because there was a fucking blip on my to-do list.
Of course. Got to do it.
But yeah, I mean, so far I'm liking it. The combat's, I'm still not crazy about it. It's growing on me as I, use it more. I'm starting to get more familiar with it. I'm starting to. One of the things they didn't show in the tutorial in the tutorial in this one, or even in the demo, was like there was like quick action buttons. So like, so like some of your attacks that aren't just a basic slash attack, you usually have to hit X and go into a menu and go to abilities, and then you choose that attack. Well, there's like quick buttons where if I hold L1 and hit square, it does one of those attacks. If I hold L1 and hit triangle, it does a different one. If I hold L1 and hit circle, I get a potion. So, some of the going into menus, which I feel like it kind of slowed down this style of battle, they have those quick actions in there, which helps once you get used to doing them. There's still times in the middle of a big fight where I'm hitting the wrong button and stuff just because there's so much crap going on.
Oh, I'm 25 hours in and I'm still hitting the wrong button.
Oh, great! You're giving me lots of hope here.
Especially like you said, especially when I'm into one of these like mini bosses or a big boss kind of battle, it's like it's such mayhem at times that I'm kind of like panicking without and then I'm like hitting a button and I'm like, oh wait, because if you hit the R2 or L2, that brings up the menu for one of your teammates.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's no big deal. I mean, it's really not a big deal, but it's like, but if you hit X, it brings up the menu for the character you're controlling then and there. So many times when go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so many times when I want to do like an ability with my character or do something with my character, instead of hitting X, I'm hitting the trigger button. I'm like, oh, all right. So I hit the trigger a couple more times to get the menu over to my character, so then I can do what I want it to do.
So how often are you like controlling the different characters, or how often are you just like telling them what to do?
When you're in battle with one of your party, if you're in battle with someone in your party, so like I mentioned the mission where I was with like Jesse and Biggs and Wedge. They weren't technically in my party at that point, so I couldn't do anything with them. But there's earlier missions where you're with Barrett or you're with Tifa, and you hit a button on the D-pad, and you can switch back and forth between them freely. And when you're not controlling them, they're kind of on autopilot.
Have you ever had like more than 2 people in your party, like you and somebody else?
3.
I haven't yet, but I'm sure he is.
Up to 3.
Okay, and this includes you.
Yeah. So 3 people total, and then you can switch between the 3 characters. So what they'll do is the character you're controlling, you control and do whatever you want, but the other 2 will do just their normal physical attack unless you tell them to do something, or unless you have materia that has them do things. Because like there's a materia that basically is like a follow the leader kind of thing. So it was great for one of the boss battles. One of the bosses was weak to fire. So I put that on Tifa with the Magnify, I think it's called. I can't remember the exact name of the materia, but I put that on with her, and I put because in the old game how in certain materia you can link them based upon your equipment and stuff. Well, this one was a link, so I linked that with fire, and then so when I used fire, she would use fire.
Okay, cool.
So that was kind of a nice. So it's like but if you didn't have that, she would just do physical attacks the whole time.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be like too much to manage.
I feel like
I say that that'd be too much to manage if you weren't like but then if you're not managing it, they're only doing like just the physical attack, like having the ability to like link those things up and give you different ways for them to fight along with you, and not just kind of just be a dummy AI character next to you. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and it's really nice actually that just do their physical attacks, because otherwise, like computer players in other games and stuff, like Kingdom Hearts, for instance, Donald always uses up all his MP, all of his magic, against these weak guys, and then you get to a boss, and then you have to use an item to restore them and everything. Where with them, since they're just doing physical attacks, they have all the MP unless you tell them to use it. So that's kind of a nice thing too. So it's like we're playing. So a lot of times if I'm doing like weaker people, it's like, all right, well, I'll just control my guy. I'll just do abilities, and every once in a while, if I see their bar goes up, I'll tell them to do an ability instead of like a magic, just so you get a little more, do a little more damage quicker. But it's like I don't want you wasting magic on this rat, or something like that. But the thing is too is so the character you're controlling, when you attack, that's how your ATB builds up to use the abilities and spells and stuff. Your party members, their ATB fills up a lot slower because you're not controlling them. So, but if the minute you go and control them and start attacking, like hitting square to use, even just using physical attacks, their bar goes up way quicker.
Okay.
So that's kind of also where you got to kind of think about. It's like, okay, even though you're controlling one character, the other ones, their ATB is not building up fast enough. So it's like, okay, like I have Eris is my healer. So I will, if I notice I'm starting to get a little bit lower on health and she doesn't have like an ATB or I need 2 ATBs to pull off a bigger spell or something, I'll switch to her really quick, get some attacks in, get her bar back up, and then maybe switch back to Cloud. So at least I know she's ready to go when I need her then.
I got you. So what's your guys' favorite part of the battle system?
I actually like, so it's quite it has been quite frustrating. I'm not gonna lie. At times,
What's your least favorite part of the battle system?
It's tough. It's hard. It's like I've lost to some like enemies where I'm like, how did I just die?
I'll say my least favorite part is how you have to wait for the ATB bar or whatever to fill up to use an item. Like I can't take a potion if that's not full, which I think is kind of bullshit because I have 40 fucking potions in my back pocket.
Yeah, and I guess I understand. I see what people are saying with that, but at the same time, it's like the way I think about it, it's like that's where like the turn base kind of comes in though, like because like the ATB is your turn base where you can do a specialty stuff. So it's like so that's kind of like where the old with the original Final Fantasy VII. Like for me, it's like all right, that's the turn base aspect of it is the ATB bars.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So which I understand what you're saying, but that's also kind of how I viewed it. It's like okay. I'm not so upset about that because I get that. That's kind of like now that's my turn.
I would say I'm not upset about it. It's just annoying when like I see my health bar in red and I'm like, all right, I need a potion. Fuck, I can't use a potion because I just did a spell 2 seconds ago. Fuck. All right, let me run around and slash this guy a few times to try to build it up. And
there's been a few times where I've screwed myself over there. Yeah, I go in for like an ability where it's like, oh shoot, you know what? I probably should have healed there instead of using an ability. I'm trying to go for that quick kill, but I'm like, wait a minute. There's no such thing as a quick kill in this game, pretty much, unless you're facing like a rat.
Yeah, I would say the. I mean, maybe it changes later on in the game or even in part 2, but before where you'd have enemies that you could just wipe out with one physical attack, I haven't found anything quite like that yet. I mean, I'm at the point now where the level 1 Shinra soldiers are pretty easy, but nothing like immediate.
Yeah, I don't have any immediate deaths yet, but I've got a few very quick ones now. Like the part I'm at now, there's some rats that show up, and I can get them like 2-3 hits. Like so later on in the game, you kind of get some of those, but for the most part,
and that's I'm sure as you
something
as you level up, I'm sure you become stronger, and when you run into those lower level common enemies, they'll be real easy to wipe out. But I'm not there yet.
So, I mean, I played the demo. And it struck me as like how great it looked.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm assuming that goes throughout the entirety of the game or the rest of the game. But like, was there anything like in particular like you're like, holy crap, that looks amazing? Like a summons or like an environment or a character?
The summons are incredible.
Yeah,
when you pull off their special.
I got one. That's another thing. You get the first summon. You get pretty early in the game. And like again, that wasn't a thing you got until later in the original. But yeah, I think the first one I got was Ifrit, which is the fire devil.
Right.
And they operate kind of differently too. So as the original, you launch a summon and they just do one big attack. Now it's like at least with Ifrit, like I launched him and he fights alongside you for a period of time. So I'm sitting there fighting and I just see all these fireballs going off around me and explosions. And,
it's awesome.
So yeah, it's a little different.
Do you control him, or is he just on autopilot?
He's on autopilot. For me, he was on autopilot. I didn't try controlling him though.
Yeah, they're for the most part on autopilot, but there are summon abilities too. They have their own abilities. So like when you do have a bar set, so whoever summoned that summon, because you can assign the summons you assign one summon per character.
Okay.
So let's say Cloud, you had Ifrit on there. So Cloud, summons Ifrit and then has an ATB bar. There, you can go down to the summon abilities, and there's like 1 or 2 abilities you can choose from to have them do like another move besides just their normal like fireball.
Okay.
Cool. And then when the meter goes all the way down to 0, that's when he pulls off like the Hellfire, the big huge attack at the end.
Gotcha. So the new stuff, is that like addition for addition's sake, or is it actually like is there substance behind what they're adding to these sections of Midgar?
It's good.
I was saying I'm inconclusive at this point because like the biggest part I've noticed is just Jesse, Wedge, and Biggs being around more and actually doing stuff with them. Time will tell whether that's addition for addition's sake or like I said, I think they're trying to build out those characters more and give you more of an attachment to them for when they eventually bite the big one.
Yeah, right.
Which I assume is going to happen. I don't know for sure.
I'm not gonna say.
Yeah, don't spoil anything for me.
I'm not. Nope, I'm not gonna say. That's why, like I said, that's why like it's funny because like everyone always talks about like spoilers and stuff like that. Like, oh, how it's 20 something old game. Like how you spoil, but at the same time, there's a lot of stuff they've added, they've changed, and it's like it's really interesting. Like it's really really cool. Like it is a fleshed out. It's like yes, this is Final Fantasy VII, but it is more of a reimagining almost. Like there's still some iconic stuff in there from the original that's like, oh, I remember that. That's awesome. Like, all right, that's pretty cool. Or like, or you hear like, there's like a quote that said it's like, oh, like I remember that delivery in the original, cool. But then there's like all this new stuff, and it's just like this is so interesting, and it's like it's just drawing me in. Like I said, I'm 25 hours in, chapter 14. When I replayed the Final Fantasy VII recently, it took me 26 hours to beat the entire game. So, I mean, there's a lot in here. There's a lot going on, and I mean, there's times when it is kind of like, okay, let's move a little bit. Let's move a little bit. Like there are parts of it where it's like, it's like dragging out a little bit of the story, but it's like, okay, but this is it's still interesting, but it's like, okay, I see what you're doing. You're exploring this a little more. Cool. Like I like it, but it's like, and then I hit a certain point where I'm like, all right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. But it's just, yeah, it's so good.
So that was my next question. It's like your overall impressions. You like it, obviously. So
it's like for me, besides like the little bit of hiccups I have sometimes during the combat, like it's like near perfect.
Yeah, I was gonna say even like before I'd said like I'm not a big fan of the combat. Like I said, it's growing on me, and everything else so far is definitely keeping me interested and wanting to go more into it. Like whatever, I'm in 4 or 5 hours in, I've already hit a point where I'm like, I don't know what the hell they're gonna throw at me next. I mean, they've already busted out Sephiroth in the first hour, and have him popping up. I mean, that was, you didn't hear about him for a while in the original, so I don't know what the hell they're gonna do now. I mean, the bike game, I already did that once. I don't know if that happens again. I mean,
that was hard.
Yeah,
it was really difficult.
The first time I did that was the first time I died in the game, and it came at a good time because it was way past my bedtime. Like I died, and I was like, you know what? Just go to bed. Just stop now. And I did it again today and got through it fine. But yeah, I mean, so far I like it. It's I'm curious to see where they go with it because, like I said, they do start changing stuff up, but they haven't changed anything major yet that I've seen. And I don't know if they will. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. And that's kind of what has me curious. Like, what else are they gonna turn on its head here that is gonna be different from what I've known for 20 years or whatever?
Yeah, no, for sure, and that's what I'm so curious too, because like there's a lot of stuff that has been like not changed, but like just being done differently. Let's put it that way. And so and that's why like I really want to get to, because like my one buddy hit me up. He's like, dude, he finished it over the weekend. He's like, as soon as you finish, you and I need to have a talk. I was like, okay, like all right, like now I'm already excited, but now you're really pumping me up for this finale of whatever's gonna happen. He was satisfied. That was what he said. So it's like, all right, that's good. But no, it's just like I cannot wait to keep going, and like yeah, I'm usually in bed by like 10 o'clock or so. I've been not going to bed before midnight, like in the last couple of weeks, like at all. And then wait till you get to the wall market. The wall market is perfect. From the minute you walk in to you complete that whole thing, It is just perfect.
I look forward to it.
It's so good. Oh, like I'm gonna. Because I'll probably I mean, eventually I'll replay it again, but I'm gonna really look forward to like replaying.
If you want that platinum, you have to replay it.
I know. Oh my God, you have to replay it like twice for sure, and then the nice thing is I guess after you beat it, you can do the chapter select. So
I just know to get the platinum, you have to beat it on hard, and hard doesn't unlock until you beat it once.
So. Yeah, and I don't know about that. So I wanted platinum, but I'm struggling as it is. But actually, I found myself like the last like big boss battle I kind of had. I saw online some people complaining about it, like what the hell do I do? Blah blah blah. I beat it on my first try. I was like, oh, I learned from like previous bosses, where I'm like, oh, maybe I should do this and this. No problem. Like I mean, it was still tough. I still had to constantly heal and revive and stuff. man, Phoenix Downs. I can't say I go through so many Phoenix Downs. I always have a character dying here and there. That's the part. That's the part too. It's like there's so much chaos going on that you kind of lose track sometimes during like big battles like that of your party members, and all of a sudden I get Tifa is unconscious, and I'm like, oh no, like I didn't realize she was.
Oh crap, where's Tifa?
Phoenix Down, go.
You, Phoenix Down, you throw a potion at her, go.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's do a little combination here. But it's just, but I learned from what I was doing previously, and it made that boss battle not so bad. Like I knew exactly what I had to do, and like it was just at times it was a little hard to execute it, but like when I wasn't doing it, I wasn't getting frustrated because it's like, all right, I know what I need to do. I just need to do it. Like,
yeah.
So like, and so that's like kind of nice. But no, it's just, oh my God, like I can't believe they pulled this off. Like I really cannot believe they pulled this off.
All right. Any other lingering things you guys want to talk about from your time until you get a little more time with it?
No, nothing important. I'm still early on, and I've had a lot of the Jesse Wedge and Biggs thrown in my face, and like a lot of the characters they're fine. They're normal-ish. I mean, Barrett's a bit over the top, but whatever. He was kind of a bit over the top in the original. Biggs is fine. Jesse and Wedge are like anime characters in their mannerisms and the way they talk.
Yeah.
And I don't. That kind of rubs me the wrong way. It's like there's a lot of stuff in the game that like I don't notice. Like it's fine. It's the people are whatever, but those two in particular, the way they act, I'm like, oh my God. If you show me a thumbs up one more time, I'm gonna break your arm off and clock you upside the head with it.
But Wedge but it's Badger. I mean, he's great. No, Wedge is fine.
I enjoyed seeing a dog bite him in the ass earlier.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, all the voice acting, by the way, is actually excellent. Like I think it's all really well done. Like I know how you're saying with Bear, it's like over the top. Dude, just wait. He everything I did last night. Oh my God, Barrett was amazing.
Well, it
was incredible.
He's over the top in that, like, it's just having a voice to the context that was in his written dialogue in the original. Like lots of yelling, lots of barking orders, and that was all there. There just wasn't audio to it.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Every time he talked, it was in all caps half the time. So,
right.
I mean, it was there before. It's just now there's a voice to it, and like I said, it's totally expected from him. It fits, what his character is supposed to be at this point in the game. It's fine. I have no issues with it. It's a bit much. Talking normal voice.
And I'm afraid to look at my folder on the PlayStation. I've taken so many screenshots while playing this game. Like I never ever do that, and I've taken so many screenshots. There's even one sequence actually in Walmart where I saved the whole 15-minute video clip, like because it's so good.
It shockingly doesn't have a photo mode, right? Like there's no
right.
photo mode in this game.
And that's what everyone's saying. Everyone's like, Square, get on that.
You don't need a photo mode. You get the share button.
I know.
It's different.
You're different.
Well, that's the thing, because I mean, you can get rid of some of the UI. You can't get rid of it, so there is still in some of these screenshots there is some of the UI, but if you hit L2, I discovered this accidentally. If you hit L2, you can cycle through no HUD, just the top meter or the top meter in the map, or just the mini map.
Ah, okay.
So there was a few times where I knew it was looking like a really nice shot. So I hit L2 really quick so I could get rid of that map, so I could take a nice screenshot. It's still in the bottom corner had like the X command menu, was still there, but at least everything else was kind of gone. So I was able to still get a really nice screenshot. But yeah, I can imagine how much space is taken. Those things are taking up right now on the hard drive.
Yeah, on top of the install.
Oh yeah, on top of the 100 gig install.
Oh man!
I was like, that's one good thing, which I don't. Yeah, 2 discs. Yeah, fucking.
Yeah, Red Dead was 2, and it's just like,
Red Dead
what to do here? And it's not like just 1 disc 2. Like, which one do I put in?
Like, I actually I opened it up and there's 2 discs, and I had the same thing. I'm like, one says data, one says play. What do I do here? And like, I had to somewhere it's written either on the I think on the disc it says like install this one first, put this one in
Yeah, that's
first.
what. Yeah.
The one good thing I'll say, which at least I didn't see it when I installed it, was all the data's there. There was no extensive download needed. So
Nope.
I mean, I guess in that regard, the 2 discs is good.
Yeah.
There wasn't. I don't recall getting a massive, day one patch.
I don't think there was any.
So that was
patch.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's nuts. I can't believe it's out.
It's so good.
Part 1.
Part 1. Part 1/3.
Like if you decide to pick it up and play this though, I mean, I think like don't get me wrong, like I still understand what you're saying.
I'm not. Just but go ahead.
The naming convention is wrong because just calling this Final Fantasy VII Remake is wrong. But God, it's so different. Like it is its own game. Like this in itself. Like,
I don't mind that. Just call it something else.
yeah.
Just call it something else. That's all. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where everyone's loving it. People are saying game of the year so far and things like that. But competition's thin. But
it's also only April.
It's also only April.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
It's only April. A bunch of shit's been delayed. I mean,
yeah, other things might come out.
It's
someday.
Maybe
it's good. I'll give it that much.
Well, until they put an asterisk next to that name, I'll never know. So, So and again, any other final thoughts? Anything else that was bugging you about that game, or you want to talk about? That's pretty much it, right?
It's pretty much it I can think of so far.
Yeah. And well, that's it for the show then. So next time we'll talk about God knows what, because God knows what's going to happen between now and then. And see you next time, Stickheads.